Hello, my name is Maya K. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about Sister Wives Season 17, Episode 9. Christine is talking about the trip that her and Isabel and Truly made to take Isabel down to Maddie's house so she can go to college where Maddie lives, and Maddie is Janelle's and Cody's daughter. The road trip was 6 days, and I couldn't imagine being in a car with someone for 6 days. I would absolutely lose my mind. At that point, I would just take a plane and pay the price. There are people I get along with amazing. I could be around them all day and no issues, but being in a car for 6 hours, it's hot, I'm already irritated. I don't think I could handle that, but that's just me. It's been going really well for them. Truly says that she's gonna miss her sister on a scale 1 to 10. She says a good 7. She'll miss her, but they can still communicate and talk over the phone. Throughout the past couple episodes we have seen, Truly is so mature to be 10. The stuff she says I would have never said at 10. I find that really good, and hopefully she's not mature from trauma, and that's just because of her being around other mature people, so hopefully it's the second one and not the first one. And when they get to the hotel room, they talk about how Christine is moving and Truly isn't necessarily ready to move, just because everything she's ever known is in Flagstaff, but Christine believes that she's moving Truly to a healthier environment, which I think she is too, because just always being alone, which I figure she is alone because Cody doesn't come around very much. They don't get together as a family that often, and her 2 older sisters have gone off to college, so it can get pretty lonely, but when she's around her other siblings, it won't be as lonely. And Christine will be in a happier situation, and it can cause Christine to be a better parent if she's happy. I think over time Truly will come to enjoy Utah since her other siblings are there, and her realizing the pros of it instead of looking at it from a negative perspective. Going to North Carolina with Maddie and Isabel and Christine and Truly, they all sit down for dinner and just talk and conversate and catch up since Maddie lives in a completely different state. This is off point. I'm looking at the lemonade that they have, and it looks so good for no reason. I'm not even a big lemonade drinker, but that scene had me craving lemonade. That's not the point. Christine goes to a confessional talking about how she's always been really close to Janelle's kids because when Janelle was off working, to take care of Janelle's kids. Because of that, it's helped them develop a healthier relationship to the point where Isabel can come live with Maddie and not be awkward or tense, and it's just something casual and they all love it. She's really gonna miss Isabel because they've always been close, but then we go into a segment with Isabel. She talks about how since her mom has been going through the divorce, they have developed an emotional dependency on each other, which emotional dependencies aren't really healthy in my opinion. I get depending on someone emotional here and there, especially if that's your child, but to the point where it's stopping y'all from living a life, I think that's when it becomes unhealthy, but I don't think it's to that point yet. So I don't think it's a real issue, even though you shouldn't develop an emotional dependency on your child, but Christine isn't perfect, so it's okay. And I'm pretty sure Cody has done way worse damage, so maybe the emotional dependency was needed, to be honest. Anyways, because they have such an emotional dependence on each other, especially they don't visit each other too often, because Isabel's just gonna want to come back home and not continue living her life and coming into adulthood. The next time they'll probably get to see each other will probably be Christmas, but that's kind of sad just because she goes from seeing someone every day to only seeing them once every couple of months. But that's also just a part of growing up. You're gonna have your own life to live. You won't have as much time for everyone else as much as you did. You just have to figure out how to still maintain a relationship with other people while still living your life and doing what makes you happy. But Christine is thankful that her and Maddie have a good relationship, so Isabel is with someone who they both know. And Christine kind of feels bad that she can't give Truly that family bonding and being around all her siblings. She feels like she broke the family apart, but the family was already broken to begin with. So it never was Christine's fault and is not Christine's fault. As much as Cody tries to make it is, it ain't. So hopefully he can get over that. Moving on to Mary, she's sitting down and having a conversation with her friend Jen, and she usually would have these conversations with her family, but her family has been pretty abnormal lately, so she's going to her friend Jen to talk about what's going on. But it's always been like that from the beginning though. Just don't know why they're acting like Christine just threw the family off so bad to the point where all their lives are just in this dramatic transition when they're not. It's been like this for a while, so like get over it and deal with it. Really nothing happens too much in this scene, or I just wasn't paying attention, but we're gonna go with nothing really happened. We get this random confessional with Robin. It wasn't random, it was just talking about how it's good for sister wives to have friends outside of each other, and Robin talks about how basically Janelle and Cody are step siblings because Cody's dad married Janelle's mom. That is so odd, and like I wonder, was it before Janelle and Cody got together or after they got together? Because if it was after they got together, that makes it even worse. But I just think it's good that they do have friends outside each other though, because I don't think they really like each other that much. So because I don't think they do, they need to be around people who they actually like being around. Yeah, like I said, nothing really happened, so we're just gonna move on to Christine. She's selling her house and basically trying to make it look as clean as possible so she can go ahead and get rid of it and start her new life in Utah. Christine feels like she doesn't owe Cody any explanation for her moving or do anything she chooses to do with her life, because he doesn't give her an explanation for what he chooses to do with his life, so why should she? And I 100% agree. Because Cody has this thing where he feels like Christine owes this, and that to him when he wouldn't even give her the bare minimum, so I'm not sure why he has this expectation of her. It's kind of odd. He also talks about how Cody hasn't seen Truly in about a month since they moved Gwendolyn and Isabel. Basically, he's just letting life pass him without getting to be around his kids, and Cody's excuse is that he doesn't like being around Christine. I'm pretty sure Christine doesn't like being around you, Cody, but she still tries to co-parent with you and make it work. It's not an excuse not to see your child. You literally don't even have to say hey to Christine, in my opinion. Just like get her to drop her off at Robin's house, you be going off doing something and come back and see Truly. Like, it's not that hard, especially because you have another wife who's willing to do anything for you. So make it work. And on top of that, I couldn't imagine being away from my child for months at a time and just like not being near them. I'm not a parent, but if I was, I don't think I would be comfortable doing that. Moving past that, Christine meets up with her real estate agent to talk about her house being under contract and how she's moving next week. But now she needs to tell all the adults that she's moving and have an honest conversation with them. She's hoping they just don't hate her and could come to some type of understanding about why she's doing it. It will be stupid for them to hate Christine, because at the end of the day, she's really making life easier for everyone, in my opinion. They get to spend more time with their husband that they love so much. I mean, even though I'm pretty sure Janelle and Robin don't really like being around him for too many days at a time, but I mean, Mary likes to be around him, I guess, so he can go spend some more time with her. But Cody don't like being around Mary, so that's pointless too. Next we go to the scene where they sit down and talk about Christine leaving and her house being under contract, and Janelle kind of has an idea what's going on, but she's not 100% sure, and of course Robin is nervous as I don't know what. Then you have Mary being bitter and also Cody being bitter. Once they all sit down, Christine just blurts it out and gets over with, and Janelle's happy for her and wishes her the best of luck, and Cody does not understand why Janelle is happy for her. And she's happy for her because that's someone she cares about, and she wants the person she cares about to be happy. You ever thought of that, Cody? Plus, at the end of the day, Christine deserves to be happy with or without you, and just because you can't deal with that doesn't mean other people can't be happy for her. Robin was shocked and she wasn't ready for it. She feels like she's being pushed off the plane she wasn't ready to be pushed off of. But you knew you were going to get pushed off the plane though, so why are you shocked? Christine had been telling Robin for years that she was trying to make it work with Cody, and Cody wasn't trying to make it work with her, and it was just becoming too difficult. She was washing her hands, but you just didn't want to believe it, so that's really your fault and not Christine's fault. And then you have Mary trying to be on Cody's side, but Cody don't even care about her, so I'm not sure why you're trying. When we go to Cody, of course he's mad and he's in his feelings, but y'all saw this coming. Cody's been dealing with this for literally months, and he knew about the divorce for months, so he knew it was going to happen eventually. So he just needs to deal with it, and he can be mad, but he needs to stop taking it out on everyone else and deal with it internally. Or go to like some therapy or something, I don't know. Then Janelle asks how is Truly dealing with it, and Christine says Truly is dealing with it better especially since time has gone on and she's warmed up to the idea of it. Cody somehow believes that between the time that he found out that Truely knew about the divorce and she knew about it, Christine randomly told Truely something that automatically made Truely change her mind about being sad about moving, and convinced her that them divorcing is a good thing. And I'm unsure how he got that, because when Christine told Truely, Christine immediately called him and he came over shortly after Truely knew about it. So what happened in this span of 2 hours that she could have told her? It automatically changed her mind. Maybe Truly's just emotionally mature enough to deal with her emotions, unlike you, Cody. So let's not push this backwards perspective that Christine is telling Truely some backwards twisted lie or anything, because she's not. And they also end up talking about how their religion ties into the divorce, because they haven't told the church that they're a part of. But Christine is no longer a part of their religion, but Cody is. And they got married spiritually, since you can't be married to more than one wife, so they went to the church and got married. And for you to get divorced, church has to validate it or approve it, so you can, and you have to go through a bunch of counseling to make sure it's just completely done and there's no further separation on both parties. We go to a confessional with Rob, and she basically talks about that, and she says that she doesn't consider Christine divorced until she's physical with another man. But I feel like that just contradicts everything she had said earlier, because if she's divorced spiritually and the church has approved it, but she's not with someone else, does that mean she's not divorced, or what? I don't know. I'm unaware of how spiritual marriage exactly works, to be honest, because the first time I even heard about it was through some polygamy show that I was watching. Other than this, I promise you, I'm not a crazy person. I just don't watch only polygamy shows, but I do watch a lot of documentaries, I will say that. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Point is, I'm unsure how all of this works, but how they explained it and how Robin explained it, how she even explained it herself, were kind of two different ways. But I'm just gonna go with the church and having to go to therapy and all of that. But I'm gonna move on, and Janelle comes on Christine's defense and says, she's no longer part of their religion, so that doesn't apply to her anymore. And Christine talks about how her doing it how she does it makes the most sense to her, because when her mom got divorced from her dad when she was 19, her mom left the religion she was a part of and got divorced. Not because she left her religion, but she was straying away from religion, then ended up getting a divorce, and basically just moved on with her life, and she's following in the same footsteps as her mother. And it's all the legal work and stuff. And we go on to Mary, and she says it just doesn't work this way. You just can't give up on your family, but it does work this way. Every situation is going to be different to its own, and in Christine's specific situation, this is the best way to do it. In my opinion, she's not being nasty to y'all. She's playing very friendly, which I kind of hate that for Christine, is that Mary, Robin, and Cody all treat Christine so bad and she's doing the worst thing possible, when really she's not, and she's being so sweet and friendly and very cooperative with them. I don't think I said that right, but you get my point. And I don't think she deserves the treatment that she's getting. I've talked about this in plenty of videos, and this is really all just about Mary feeling like she's stuck with Cody even though she isn't, and she wishes she had the strength to do what Christine is doing. Mary even goes on to talk about how even though her marriage isn't perfect and it really isn't working out with Cody, she's still trying, putting forth effort. But then we go to Cody. He says he doesn't even consider himself married to Mary. Mary, just get a grip and leave Cody. You'll be a lot happier and a lot less miserable. And you know what? I'm just done with Mary. I'm not gonna continue to drag her. I'm not even dragging her, I feel, but I've said enough already, and y'all get the point. Go back to the scene, and Janelle was like, well, we all have these kids and basically have created a family together, and y'all basically gave it y'all's best, and y'all tried, and that's good enough. And if it just doesn't work, it doesn't work. But then we go into confessional with Cody. Talks about how there's cliques, and how Christine and Janelle's kids are clicked together, and then Robin's kids are just kind of left out. Basically, it's him and Robin's kids against the world. I really personally feel since they didn't necessarily grow up with each other as Christine and Janelle's kids, I could understand why they wouldn't be as close. And then Cody favors Robin's kids. He doesn't think he does, but he does. Also, his kids just don't like being around him on top of that. On top of all those things, I believe it's just created a weird dynamic. And plus, I have yet to hear any of the kids say they just don't like being around Robin's kids or like they hate Robin. I don't think any of the kids have ever said that, and then from the other seasons I've kind of watched here and there, all the kids seem to get along fine even with Robin's kids. So this honestly could just be something Cody made up in his head. To be honest, it's probably something a lot deeper than just that in itself. There's probably a lot that happens behind the scenes. I still think Cody's delusional, but I do believe that there's some type of separation between Christine and Janelle's kids and Robin's kids, but it's because of Cody, not because of Christine and Janelle. As the conversation goes on, Cody talks about how he just doesn't understand how him and Christine's marriage got to this point of them being unhappy. This is coming from because Maddie told Cody that Christine had been unhappy for years, and that was his first time hearing that, and he didn't hear it from Christine, so he was curious about that. And Christine goes on to say, well, it didn't come from me, it came from a secondhand source. She tried to explain what was really said and what really happened, but he automatically shut her down. Because he wanted to know, was it true, and who else had been saying it. Christine basically said a bunch of the kids had seen that I was unhappy and that the marriage wasn't working. It's not that one specific child, and that shut Cody up. But it's true at the end of the day, so I'm not sure why he's so flabbergasted by that. But Cody just continues to be in denial, and Robin somehow in denial, saying that can't be possibly true because when y'all was in Las Vegas, y'all was as happy as y'all could be. And first of all, how are you going to tell someone about their own marriage that you're not even a part of? I mean, I know I do that, but it's different because I'm looking from the outside in, but they're all in a little circle, so I feel like everything they say we need to take with a grain of salt, especially Cody and Robin. Anyways, Christine goes on to say, well, things were kind of fixed, but I was still having issues with Cody and I wasn't as happy as it was kind of made out to be. Robin is still swearing up and down that they were the happiest in Las Vegas. Christine goes on to say, our marriage wasn't at a good point and I was unhappy, but somehow Robin translates that to say that only Robin's and Cody's marriage was good, but she never said that. Christine was only speaking for her and Cody, not anyone else. Robin got very defensive, and I can tell that they've had this conversation before about how Robin and Cody are like the perfect couple and Cody doesn't care about any other marriage besides his with Robin, because I feel like there was no reason for her to get that defensive, especially for something that she made up in her head. Christine tries to defend herself by saying, me and Cody had a very realistic conversation about how we both equally felt, which that is true because I remember a clip coming out maybe a year or two ago of Cody telling Christine that he was unattracted to her, and when they had like a conversation and basically just saying how he really felt about her. Robin says that can't be true because y'all don't communicate well, and I see how she can say that, but even the people who communicate the worst, every now and again they will have a very realistic conversation and an honest conversation with each other. I've seen it firsthand. I completely understood what Christine was saying, and it was at the end of their marriage, so Cody really had nothing to lose by being honest with Christine about how he really felt about her. Then Cody jumps in the conversation and talks about how for the past 12 years they have been trying to get people to accept polygamy and realize it's just as normal as monogamy. Feels like by Christine leaving the family that he's basically been making up a lie and selling a false story. And the thing is that I do believe polygamy can work to some extent. I'm not 100% sure how, just because I can't really wrap my head around it all from like a woman's perspective of like wanting to be in it, because like what you get. But if everyone feels equally loved and equally wanted and all that stuff that you would get in a monogamous marriage, I guess how it could work in having multiple wives like wouldn't be the end of the world. But Cody, one, is way too prideful, isn't a good husband in general, and likes to be a narcissist and gaslight people. So that's why it didn't work for you, Cody. But we go into confession with Christine, and Christine says she doesn't care anymore and people can feel however they want to feel about her. They can feel like she told a tale, they can feel good about her, whatever they want to feel, they can feel. But she left because she felt like she was getting mistreated and her children were getting mistreated, and she felt like her kids didn't deserve that. And at the end of the day, I feel like Christine did the right thing, because it was no longer just about her not getting treated right. It came to her kids not getting treated right, especially when Isabel had that scoliosis surgery. It was pretty major and pretty important, and he just brushed it off and didn't care. That was a sign that he just didn't care about his kids and was an unattentive father. And I do not want to call him a bad father because I don't see him be a father 24/7, but from what they say, he can't really be that good of a father in my opinion. I mean, okay father at the bare minimum, but not an amazing one who's always there, who's always attentive and is aware, but he's not any of those things, so it's giving lackluster, you know? Christine gets up and walks out of the confessional because she's so irritated. That was the end of the episode. It was a really good episode. I know next week's gonna be a good episode, but I'm gonna be irritated and mad with Cody already because he's talking about how Christine mistreated Robin and all that stuff. We all know it's simply just not true. But yeah, tell me what y'all of this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want, and bye.